Hey, and welcome to Cassette Take with Annmarie and Ethan. I'm your host, Ethan, along with our other wonderful host,
Yay! I gotta
Annmarie.
hit the red button.
Yes, you did, and you were so proud.
I was.
Cassette Take, where you can
Yay!
eject whenever you want to, but please do not forget to rewind. Um, yeah, so
It's the MCU episode. I've
yeah,
been waiting.
if you if you think that we're sounding a little different here, we're very happy. It's not due to any MCU news necessarily because there's not too much to be excited about, but no, it might sound different because we have a really good new mic now. So yeah, that might really kind of up the game
I
here.
like it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a good
nice.
mic.
It's not your average cassette.
No.
So yeah, and as you can see, I was gonna say see, but you can't see.
No.
So as you can obviously hear, yeah, we're talking about the MCU today.
Yes! I've been waiting. I'm so excited. Because we just finished Loki. Loki has just ended.
Yeah, Loki after two full seasons has come to a head, and what did
I
we think?
liked it.
I
I knew you were going to ask that, but I liked it. I love season 2 of Loki. It's so confusing.
I honestly think it's so funny. So we'll get into our spoiler-free discussion first,
Yeah.
and then we'll give you the heads up for spoiler conversation. But yeah, spoiler free. You liked it.
They
You
went,
thought
yeah, they went in a different direction than I thought they were gonna go into,
right.
and some of the characters they kind of lay off a little bit more. But I just love the story that they told with Loki this season. So
Yeah. Now I you said it was hard to follow at times,
it
and
was so confusing.
it's so funny because you were comparing it to like a very psychedelic kind of like, oh, it's not very expository. It's just like
Yeah.
it expects you to know things. I got the exact opposite,
Really?
reaction with yeah. I really thought it was like doing a really good job at explaining things to a certain extent and then just stopping. I mean, with the first two episodes, I wasn't sure how I felt about how they were going about it, but as it went on, I thought it was some of the best content the MCU has put out in a while.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree with that. I think it. I don't know. There's like different story points where it's like, hey, you remember that in last episode? Now we're in the next part, and you're like, wait, I didn't see the middle part of it. So
Yeah, I think the episode that probably I would say and agree with you on this that did that the most was probably the second episode.
yeah, that's
The
what I'm
beginning of that
thinking.
episode, I'm like, what's going on here?
They did it with the hunter too. I don't remember his name,
The
but
hunter.
you did the guy who's. I don't want to spoil
The
it.
guy. Oh, that's right. The guy. We'll go
Like
with
B
the guy.
52 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Person man.
Yeah.
Person man.
He
Something.
was great.
Yeah. He was. So it was such a great show. I think it really brings the character of Loki to just such a great place.
Yeah.
Like his character, I think, has where he started, where he's been, and where he's at now is such a wonderful arc, and I love it.
Yeah. And it can, and we'll get into it. Like, I know we're going to talk about like the shambles of the MCU and all that, but like, you can leave it. Like, I think Tom Hiddleston's kind of like, hey, listen, like, I'm good. Like, this was 14 years. It's great. And like,
Yeah,
I feel like they wrapped his story like really well. And we'll get into it later, but I think honestly, just leave it. So,
yeah. I mean, it's something. I mean, I've never really been the biggest fan of the MCU television shows
yeah.
outside of the Netflix ones. Um, but this one, through and through, I was very pleased with.
Yeah.
Very
It was
pleased
good.
with. And if we're talking about the state of the MCU at all,
It helps.
this was definitely something that was a breath of fresh air
Yeah.
compared to the rest of the state of it, if
Yeah.
we're being completely honest. Um, but yeah, without further ado, I mean, so just to for all you people that watched Loki or that didn't see Loki
Spoilers.
and just wanted to, yeah, we liked it overall.
Yes.
We really liked it. Some of
Yes.
the best content the MCU has put on in a while.
Yeah.
Annmarie thought it was a little, hard,
Confusing.
confusing at times.
I got it though.
Yeah.
I got it at the end.
I thought it was only like that maybe at one point, arguably, but I think I just was terrible at hearing things.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the speaker I have on my TV.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, no, overall, we loved it.
Yeah.
Now,
spoilers. Okay, I do have like some. It's great. I do enjoy it. Loki becomes from God of Mischief to God of Stories and all that. Great story arc. But they did leave stuff on the table. Like, where's Miss Minutes? Where's Victor Timely? Where?
Well, Miss Minutes, they kind of showed her, like,
rebooted. Yeah.
Like, oh, you think that this person's gonna, like, try
She
to
was so
kill us?
evil, though! They did great. Whoever plays Miss Minute, perfect.
Oh, yeah. Great job. With Miss Minutes.
Yeah.
Renslayer definitely had a...
Oh, yeah.
Like, was shoved to the side, but, like, it was interesting. It was kind of weird. She was shoved to the side midway through the story, but also, I really kind of dug when she was on screen, because the first season, I really didn't care too much about her. This season, it was just so interesting. You have two people that are trying to go after the same thing, or two sides are trying to go after the same thing. Basically, like Loki versus Renslayer.
Yeah.
Trying to do the same thing at the end of the day, just different methodologies about how to go about it and, why to do what they do, their different motivations. But, yeah, no, her care, like, I don't know, the whole dynamic there really kind of exponentially, it made her character very interesting.
Well, it's her relationship with Victor Timely and King and all that stuff that made it interesting and all that. And towards the end, they kind of lose that. Like, they do definitely sideline characters. Like, Sylvie definitely gets sidelined in this season. It was more of, like, the Mobius and Loki show, which I enjoyed and all that. I think Owen Wilson's great. And so I'm excited for him to come back in Deadpool or however they handled that. But...
Yeah, it was much more buddy cop this time around.
Which I enjoyed more. I think it was more interesting, and I know Jonathan Majors has his legal trouble right now, but, like, he's great. Like, he really is. He knows what he's doing. Like, it's a good performance by him, and so...
Yeah, if you separate the art from the artist, he did an excellent job in this, indisputably so.
Oh, the scene where Loki goes to the end of time again, and he's fighting Sylvie, and they just talk, like... It's like the best scene. It's like season 1 where they went to the end of time and they were just talking. And it's like, this is so interesting.
Yeah, it's just so cool. Like, all the different concepts with, like, how time works.
Yeah.
In this.
It's very different.
Yeah, and how it's literally viewed. It's almost kind of like Greco in that sense. Like, ancient Greece, where it's like the fates and the whole thread of all that.
Yeah.
So...
And break off.
Yeah, and like how they're kind of sewn together, and like there's a what's the term? What's the big mechanism that they call it?
Oh,
it's basically a sewing thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't remember.
It's pretty sad.
I can draw it.
How dare I not remember my sewing terminology?
Yeah, it's like it's so different on all that, how they handle it, and just like. Yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting.
The loom!
That's it.
Sorry. I was, like, looking for my phone.
Sitting here. I'm like, oh, what is it called?
Yeah, Annmarie was talking. I'm just, like, kind of looking for my phone. Like, I gotta look this up. And then just my eyes go wide. I'm like, loom!
Oh! Oh, my goodness. OB.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Wow,
I want him back.
I always love... He's so charismatic.
Yeah.
Kei Hui Kwan.
Yes.
Just... such a presence on screen.
So
it doesn't matter what he does, like even as a child actor, even like with Everything Everywhere All at Once, and then this, it's just so wonderfully done.
Yeah.
And I want him in more things. Like,
Make it Indiana Jones 6 and just have him in Indy. Like, please just do that.
I would love. Well, I'm not sure about that.
I know Harrison Ford is done, but like, it's fine. Just do one more.
No more Indiana. No,
No, he's so good in it. I don't know, like he just plays the role well, and yeah, I'm glad he was back.
Yeah. He's such a great, wholesome, wonderful, charismatic presence.
Yes.
Very energetic. I love him. I need him to be in the next Deadpool movie. If you're gonna put Mobius in there, I feel like you should have Obi.
Oh,
I feel like him and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I hope Ryan Reynolds is like short round.
Oh, and they could do that.
They could do that.
Oh,
just put him in. If you're gonna have Taylor Swift in it, just put him in.
Yeah, that. Oh man, all the possibilities that could be done with this upcoming Deadpool.
Oh, I'm so excited.
That Loki kind of even though
it sets it up.
It does.
Because in the end, it's like, well, again, we're gonna talk about MCU overall, but it sets up like, hey, we're hunting kings and all that, so maybe there's a king in Deadpool 3. Maybe there's.
Now I'm hearing that, they're probably abandoning the king.
Yes, I want to talk about this.
All right, so with Loki, that it ends with this whole idea of, rather than the TVA going after variants of different of other innocent people throughout the holy timeline or whatever it's called, they're going after variants of Kang. Allegedly the most dangerous man. I don't know. They don't do a good job of explaining why he's the most dangerous man around. He's just got
there's multiple.
Listen, he's got a big ball thing that he made once. Like, congrats. A little tiny Ant-Man killed him. A version of him.
No.
Like, that was supposed to be one of the most powerful versions of him.
What are you doing?
Like, come on, man. What are we doing?
So this is what I originally, like, if Kang went well, and I will say, like, again, separate art from artist, Jonathan Majors plays him well. Like, he's not bad at it at all. It's just you didn't make this character interesting. Like, why should I care about this villain? Like, but I think the original plan, it's because at the end of Loki becomes the god of stories and
which
all that.
I love.
Yes.
I love that touch. It really felt like it was done out of a comic book.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
it is.
well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, it really, it's kind of like the equivalent of, Spider-Man 2 makes you feel like Spider-Man. This really made you feel like you were reading a comic book.
Yeah.
And their storylines
It's so visually beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Like, it felt like I was turning the page and each thing I could I'm going to mount that on my wall, I'm going to mount that on my wall.
The VFX artists do a great job. But I think because we've kind of been hearing, like, King Dynasty and Secret Wars, it's like, no more. Like, they're not doing that anymore. I think their original plan was, like, Loki's gonna be the savior to defeat King. But honestly, I don't want you to touch Loki. Like, just leave him. Like,
I mean, honestly, he's already
done.
being that savior.
Yeah.
It's a kind of perpetual fight, per se, but, it's still, at the end of the day, what he's doing. He's that's his glorious purpose.
Yeah.
Which,
I
by the way,
don't want him to be involved anymore. Like, leave him be. Like, he's good. Like, he did it.
His character arc is done.
It's done. Just don't touch it.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it is arguably the best character arc in all of the MCU.
Yeah, this is what Scarlet Witch could have been.
Yeah, and
like, it could have been this grand thing, but.
Yeah, and Scarlet Witch overall, like, her character arc, I would say overall was solid.
Yeah, it gets better towards the end when she turns evil. Like, that's the best part.
Like, it was solid. Overall,
I would have her come back. Like, have her come back. Let's get something done.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Like, if there's so much ridiculousness in the MCU right now.
It's fine. Agatha can deal with it.
Yeah, like, you're going to hear a lot of, as we talk about our reluctant truths with the MCU.
Grace.
Poor Grace.
Uh,
But anyway.
we liked Loki. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was perfect. So.
Yeah, it just everything that's coming after is such an enigma right now.
Are we getting into it? The shambles of the MCU? Or should we had one other thing we want to talk about before.
We'll talk about that, I'd say, afterwards. We're already on this tangent. We're already variants for this.
Kevin, listen to me. Feige, I got you, Mr. Feige. This is what you're gonna also this is talked about to death.
She's expecting her salary ahead of time.
Yes.
So pay her in advance.
Most people assume they're done with King. Dustin, the director of Shang-Chi, is out. So most people are thinking King Dynasty is not happening.
And he's a great director.
Oh, this is why I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
This is what you do, Kevin. Have Deadpool 3 come out. I think Deadpool 3 is the only Marvel movie right now that's coming out next year. Push the Fantastic Four. Like, do the Fantastic Four, which I also... If it's Pedro Pascal, it's Pedro Pascal. Push the Fantastic Four, have Dustin do that movie, and bring in Doom, and do Doctor Doom. Like, just do that. Like, that's perfect.
Do the Doom?
Yeah! Doomsday. Avengers 5, Doomsday. Done. Easy. I got you, Feige.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, that... It's really served on a silver platter. It's literally a face-shaped silver platter.
It's perfect.
That you can just doom it. Like, I mean,
just
I feel like Shia LaBeouf here. Like, just doom it.
It just makes so much sense. Doctor Doom is like the perfect, like Doctor Doom. I grew up on Fantastic Four and X-Men comics. Right. I think most people know that. Like, I have a lot of history. Fantastic Four, like, this can be your saving grace. So forget about these other movies. Sorry, Captain America 4, Thunderbolts. They sound interesting, but you need to ground the MCU, and Doctor Doom can be your grounding villain, and people would get it.
Yeah, that's something that really needs to happen.
Yeah,
like
King didn't work.
Well, they never really demonstrated what made him a big bad. Other than there's multiples of him. It's like, okay,
died in Ant-Man. What a dumb decision.
It...
Why did he die?
Like, there's just so many whys.
Yeah.
And too many what ifs.
Speaking of, no.
Yeah, Marvel is having a fun day today. Today, by the way, I'm not sure when this...
11/15?
Yeah, 11/15, November 15th.
Yeah.
I have no idea when this episode's going to be released. But push it right away. Push it right out. But yeah, no, it is such a crazy news day for Marvel fans. Like, this Pedro Pascal rumor going around. Like, is he in talks to play Mr. Fantastic?
I don't know.
Let's talk about that for a bit.
Okay, because like so again, Fantastic Four nerd. We all know that. I want mean Mr. Fantastic. Not like think of like too smart for his own good, so like being kind is not like worth his time. He's like, listen, I don't have time for like I want mean Mr. Fantastic. And Pedro Pascal just doesn't give me that. He just seems like a bubbly guy, and I get like I would cast him as the Thing. Make him the Thing.
You think what about like his personality in The Last of Us as Joel?
I just can't see it. I think he would be such a good Thing. Ben Grimm. Yeah.
I think, I don't know. I think he could really capture Reed Richards if he basically took his jaded Joel character where Joel was at the beginning of season 1 of The Last of Us and just kind of crank that up to 11.
Yeah.
Like, I know more better than you. I've gone through a lot more. I know, like, you know, what it takes to do this, to accomplish that, you know, and just kind of play into that anger and kind of borderline ignorance, but it doesn't seem like on the surface it's ignorance. You know what I mean? Where it's just more of a reluctance to open up.
Yeah, I don't know. And then it's also, like, who you have him with Sue, too. Like, that's a huge dynamic between them. Because, like, I want to see that. Like, I want to see, like, the dynamics. And it's been rumored Jodie Comer, Vanessa Kirby, which I think is perfect.
You're just naming Ridley Scott historical epic women.
Oh my goodness, who's in a Ridley Scott film that can be? I get why they're going with, if it is him, who knows? Like, this might, I'm gonna push this podcast, and tomorrow it might be Pedro Pascal. But if it is him, it's not the worst choice in the world. I think he would be a great Ben Grimm, but it really depends on who Sue Storm is. I think this movie should be like Sue Storm's story. Those are like my favorite comics.
That's interesting.
Yeah, make it like, yes, it's a teen dynamic, blah blah blah. But I think there's always, like, even if you think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was all about Rocket. The first one is about Peter Quill. This, like, make it about Sue Storm. I think it's super interesting.
The second one was also about Peter Quill.
Yes. So, I don't know.
These guys named Peter getting all the movies.
Oh my gosh. It's not a bad choice. It's not my first choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I feel like if he's able to really lean into that edgy Joel mentality, I think he can kind of... It could work.
Yeah.
But, you know, like you said as well, it also depends on how the dynamic is between... everyone else.
Yeah.
The four of them. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not the Reed Richards, it's the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's all about the director and what they want.
I really hope Destin directs it. I think he would be so good. His style in Shang-Chi and all that, and the family dynamics, do it for Fantastic Four. I think he'd be great.
I thought you were going to say because of the CGI dragons.
Yeah, there's a lot of those in Fantastic. No!
So many.
So many.
No, that was, honestly, as much as I love Shang-Chi and, like, that whole movie, for some reason, I really like the CGI dragons. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's so cliche Marvel. It's, like, the equivalent of just, like, the classic CGI, battle. I'm like, I don't care. It's a dragon. Are you really going to deny me a dragon? Yeah, it is cool. Don't deny me my dragon time. Anyway,
I think he would be a perfect director for. I really hope that's. I don't know, Kevin. Just listen to me, bro. I got you. End this stupid King thing with Deadpool, and then do Doctor Doom.
And there you have it, folks.
You're welcome. I just fixed the whole Marvel universe.
The big Band-Aid to seal the MCU's wound.
I literally fixed it. I'm like, I don't...
And this one is waterproof.
Give me... Oh, no. Give me millions of dollars. I got you.
Woo.
We also haven't seen Miss Marvel, so we don't know. Or Captain, whatever it's called. The Marvels?
Marvels?
We haven't seen that.
Yeah, ideally we want to do the Loki review to coincide with the Marvels review, but there's been no... on either of our sides.
Time.
No time, but not only time, but like no motivation. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love what's her name?
Kamala Khan.
Yeah, who plays Kamala Khan?
I'm so sorry, butchering it. Iman Ali. She's great.
Yeah, she's
Miss Marvel's
wonderful.
So good.
Her performance, and she's also writing some of the comics now, I believe, right?
Yeah.
That is so cool.
That makes me so happy.
I just think I love that. I think
like
a lot more people
Holland.
need to be talking about it.
Yeah.
No, better than Tom Holland, I would say.
I think yeah.
Like, I don't see Tom Holland writing Spider-Man comics.
Come on, he's dating Zendaya. He's
basically writing Spider-Man comics because he's dating Zendaya?
No, he's busy dating Zendaya.
I'm trying to wrap my head around that logic. But anyway, no, so...
She's great.
She's wonderful, and that would be the only incentive I have to see this movie.
I rewatched WandaVision, and I'm sorry, I don't know Monica Rambeau's actress. She's great too, honestly.
Yeah, in their own projects, I like them very much, but Iman really
she
stuck out.
Yeah.
Like, she was one of the main reasons I stuck through Miss Marvel. And overall, it was a great show. I loved it. Yeah. Very wholesome, very refreshing. It's wonderful. Definitely, if the MCU leaned into more of that content, then I'm here for it.
Yeah.
You know, but if they're doing stuff like the Marvels where it's just
Mm.
I don't know. I can't speak on it because we haven't seen
it.
it, and
Yeah.
I don't like talking about movies and giving an opinion
We
on
don't.
it if I
We
haven't
don't
seen
know.
it. So
Yeah. We have no idea.
yeah, but
it could be great. Like it's getting mixed reviews, some good, some bad.
like it's superficial fun. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
It's not superhero fun. It's superficial fun.
Who knows?
So it's just ridiculous with
Marvel just really has lost it. Like they really, what's the quote? You die a hero, live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Like, yeah, like
ironically a DC quote. We knew this would happen to
James
you.
Gunn. Yeah, I don't know. Like I think they just like, well, Bob Chapek. Hate that guy, but like he kind of
as a person I don't know, but as a businessman definitely did not like his decisions.
He wanted more Marvel stuff. Kevin Feige is spread way too thin, and Disney Plus sucks. No, it doesn't. Like
no, you're not wrong. They haven't been putting out good content, and they're raising prices.
Loki,
so.
Miss Marvel, WandaVision. That's the holy trinity right now for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The MCU, it's like it feels like we can talk about it in circles and circles.
Yeah.
The state of it is not good. You can tell that they're doing a lot of damage control.
Yeah.
Like knowing how bad it is.
Yeah.
But
what would you do? Do you think doing Fantastic Four, like just do Deadpool next year and just do the Fantastic Four in 2025 and then build from there? Do you think that's a good plan, or like would you cancel like some of these shows that was canceled? Like,
so I'm not too well versed in the grand Marvel comic lore and all that. Like I know the basics, right? And I know a lot of things here and there.
Yeah.
But I just want them to have a plan. Like I don't care what they do. They could do some sort of alternate version of Galactus or like Doom Silver Surfer and like, or maybe have one of the good guys being a bad guy. Like maybe like what happened, like a grander scale of what happened in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Stuff like that. At the end of the day, as long as you have a good story to tell and you planned it out, you structured it, everyone's on the same page, then I'm here for it, man. Like, I just don't like this content where it's quantity over quality.
Yeah.
That's what's felt like. And I was really worried that the same thing would happen with Loki because I really enjoyed the first season of Loki. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Yeah. But the everything else has been pretty iffy. So when we had season 2, I was kind of surprised, but I was also happy that it ended on such a wonderful note.
They closed the chapter for it.
Exactly. Yeah. And it wasn't, if you notice, the ones that weren't part of a grander scale,
it's perfect.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, great movie. Yeah. And it didn't really focus on all the other stuff that happened in the MCU. It focused on the story it needed to tell for its own sake. Same thing with Loki. Same thing. Did it reference other stuff in passing? Sure. And those are the things that
it's little though.
Yeah, and one of the main problems with the MCU is there aren't many welcoming points for new entries.
Yeah.
For the MCU to boost those numbers.
Yeah.
And the idea of you need to watch this, it became homework. You need to watch this. Yeah, to catch up. And for a lot of these, even though the MCU, in the Infinity Saga, there were these movies that happened where you should have watched say 5 or 6 movies before watching this. But you could jump into it and there were certain nuances you probably wouldn't get. But you still could get a complete wonderful story. Yeah. And I'm not getting that now. No. Instead, I need to watch this. A whole bin, seasons worth of content. And by seasons, I don't mean a season of television or anything like that. I mean a season as in a whole fall or a winter, just to catch up on what happened if I missed a month worth.
Yeah.
So now with Loki, there were nuances that, other people wouldn't have gotten. But overall, there was a story to be told there, and they told it very well. And
Mm-hmm.
you didn't need everything else around it because they did enough, um, you know, uh, flashbacks,
Yeah.
enough like expository dialogue
Yeah.
to really catch people up on where this character is at versus where he is going versus where he ends up.
Yeah.
So we need more content like that. I mean, Miss Marvel is a good example. Is something that
It's
did
like
that.
on its own.
Yeah, little nuances here or there,
Yeah.
but again, it was its own story.
Well, that's what I 2 quick points. I'm interested to see the Marvels because one of our friends, Cheyenne, did not watch Miss Marvel. So is she gonna get it?
Right.
Because the Marvels can't. I bet. I don't know. I don't want to say I bet, but if they were smart, they would do a little like, hey, this is Miss Marvel. This is what happened in her show.
Kind of like a Into the Spider-Verse kind of
Yeah,
thing. Like,
yeah.
oh, hey, this is blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Instead, it just kind of, again, haven't seen it. We don't know what they do at the beginning.
Idea.
But from what I'm hearing from other critics and reviewers, that this is basically the epitome of what's wrong with the MCU. This idea of you need to watch this to understand this.
Yeah.
And there was something I heard, I can't remember where, but forgive me for not saying the story. I cannot remember where I heard this. But it felt like a movie that there was no. So you had Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah.
And then it felt like there should have been a movie after that, and then this movie in between. This felt like a third movie in a trilogy with no second movie.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll see with that and everything. And then the other thing I was gonna say is, I'm thinking about it. Thanos showed up as end credit scenes in a lot of the Marvel movies, but he never showed up till Infinity War. King has already shown up multiple. Like, if you don't understand, like, we're in the multiverse, like, you wouldn't get it. So, like,
yeah,
that's what I hope. That's why I'm like, I might take back what I said about Doctor Doom, but like, I think if you have him in like one movie and then he's the big bad and all that, I think most people are okay with like one or two connections. I think just the multiverse doesn't work. Like, it's not working, and so like scrap that and move on. So, and also the homework thing too, but hopefully we'll get shows like, hopefully Echo is good. But
oh my gosh, I keep forgetting about Echo.
Yeah.
Like,
that's like January. It's like soon.
And the trailer looked really good.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah. But I hope Echo's like its own thing. I hope
friendly neighborhood Echo.
Yeah. Like, I would cancel a lot of this stuff. I would cancel Ironheart.
Or at least try to kind of combine it.
Maybe,
I mean, if you're trying to do this whole grand scale MCU thing, you can still create like your own story, like a Spider-Man Homecoming situation, right? Yeah. Where it's like you have an Iron Man there, but he plays a role, and it's Spider-Man's movie, but Iron Man, such a big part of the MCU, is also in that movie.
Yeah.
So it's like you can combine these different stories you were going to tell. And a lot of these stories that I've seen where they didn't combine and it was like its own thing because, again, it was quantity over quality, it seemed like it was such a simple story that was only the bones. It didn't feel like there was any meat in there.
Yeah.
So if you do this where you combine all the, like maybe 2 stories per movie, but, like, of course you wouldn't be doing 2 different stories. You'd be making it into one cohesive, wonderful, fulfilling storyline. I think you could really get that meat on that bone and just kind of
back into
focus on the quality.
Even if you did like street level, main Earth, and then galactic, I think I'd be okay with that too. Like, these are the street level characters. That is like the Echo, Daredevil, Young Avengers, whatever you want to do in that. These are the main heroes, like Avengers, and then these are the space ones. Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, Fantastic Four. I would put them in the space one. Like, I think if you do that even, like, I'm okay with that even, but there's just no plan. Like, Kevin Feige and his crew just need to sit down and be like, okay, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, we all know what happened with, another Disney property that didn't have a plan.
Star Wars?
I mean, I wasn't gonna name it, but yeah, Star Wars, Annmarie. Good job. You get the star, the golden star.
My next guess was gonna be Pixar.
Oh my gosh. But
that's a whole other case.
Now that's our opinion on the state of the MCU.
Yeah, and how to fix it. Listen, Kevin. Just give me a call. I got you.
Just that's right. Doom. Lay out your number, Annmarie. No, I'm kidding.
8?
No, okay, so anyway, now that that's down, and by the way, please let us know your thoughts on where the MCU should go,
and how to fix it,
where it shouldn't go, and where it can go. I mean, hey, what are your thoughts on it?
Doom,
Doctor Doom, Galactus, etc.
I'm okay with that too.
Who do you think is going to be the next baddie? How do you think this whole thing should be planned out? We don't know, but. And no one really knows until we see it on the big screen. But for now, we can always just guess our asses off.
Yeah.
So, with that down, what else happened today in Marvel news, but not necessarily the MCU?
Let's talk about the ugly stepchild, Sony.
The ugly stepchild.
No.
Apologies to any ugly stepchildren out there.
I'm so sorry.
Anyway. So,
there's a Madam Web movie.
There is a Madam Web movie.
What is going on? What universe do we live in?
One in which we have a Madam Web movie. And Annmarie, what did you think of the Madam Web movie? Trailer. Teaser trailer. Because obviously the movie's not coming out.
Listen.
We don't know anything.
Who knows? It's not bad. It's interesting.
Yes.
It's very... timeline Terminator kind of I don't know. Like, it's interesting, but why is there a Spider-Man movie? Why is there spider people in this movie? Yep.
Like, I'm just tossing my hands up quietly. Like, I don't know what the obviously
it doesn't need to be a Spider-Man movie. Like, it doesn't.
When I heard about this movie and then saw the trailer, it just seems like a movie that was pitched really well.
Yeah.
And kind of connecting all these different Sony Spider-Man properties.
Yeah.
And focus on maybe the Spider-Verse and all that. And kind of bring them all together. But again, it's part of that Sony Spider-Man universe, and we all know how its Morbin time went. And
it might.
I mean, I don't know. There's Venom. I liked both Venom movies. Like they weren't great, but I thought they were fun.
Yeah. Sony might be building to something, and if I was Sony, I would build to an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie, or a Tobey, whichever one wants to come back. Like, they could be building to something. Why are you doing Madam Web? Why are you doing Kraven the Hunter? Like, why are you... I don't know. Like,
maybe is it gonna be like a Andrew Garfield Sinister Six Venom combination? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Madam Web...
bad choice.
Madam Web never really was a villain, though, I don't think,
no,
right?
No, not really. She, I thought they were gonna bring... This is kind of off topic, but I thought they were gonna introduce Madam Web in Across the Spider-Verse. I thought... Because it kind of makes sense for her to be in that, because it's different, it's the spider web of life and everything. It's just, such a C-list character.
That's why I'm thinking, the pitch must have been damn good. Yeah, for it to get produced.
There's rumors that it's going around, it's a Terminator thing, and Madam Web is stopping.
You know what would be really interesting? And I vaguely know the character, but, the character of Tarantula.
Yeah.
I don't know, it seemed like a propaganda character for, another country that, that was part of the Spider-Man Rose Gallery and all that. that I don't know. It seemed like you could do a lot with, and if you want to focus on like spider espionage,
Yeah.
I don't know. It would add like a new element because it's not necessarily something that's as gregarious as something multiversy or like in space, but it's also not necessarily just your friendly neighborhood stuff.
Mm.
It's kind of like that in between.
Yeah.
So I
Interesting.
don't know. I think that would be something that could kind of pair along with Craven if they go that route of Andrew Garfield
Yeah.
against Craven, or I don't know. There's so many different possibilities this whole Sony verse can go down.
Do you remember when Sony got hacked and they were gonna make an Aunt May movie? Maybe Madam Web was in that hack too, and so now they love you, Sony.
I did not hear about that. I mean, I know
You
they
know
got.
the Sony hack?
I know that they got hacked.
Yeah,
But
they were thinking about making an Aunt May. Her as a spy.
what she's got her like loom and like sewing
Yeah.
things together.
She can team up with Loki.
Aunt May sewing.
She's a king variant. It makes so much sense.
What are we talking about? Aunt May the King variant.
But I like Sydney Sweeney. I like Dakota John. It's a good cast, and
Yeah, but it's like, what are we?
I don't
doing?
know. It's also just the first trailer.
Yeah. Also, the voiceover seemed very lazy.
He used to work with my mom.
Yeah,
and spiders
in Spider College. I don't know. Like, I don't even know. I didn't pay attention to what they said because of like.
It's
You
not
know,
delivered.
like,
Yeah.
like I mean, I'm not sure if that's her. No, that's definitely the director's fault. I
have no idea.
for whoever recording session, whoever was in charge of this recording session for that voiceover, F minus. Just like seriously, you can't get enough energy in your actor to really, bring attention to this story that you're trying to market.
Oh, it's a female director, S.J. Clarkson.
S.J. What else has she done?
Uh,
And I'm not saying that she's at fault for this.
No,
but
I think the way it's cut, it's kind of weird.
Well, not only cut, but like it just, I don't know. Maybe it could have been pulled from a different scene with a different context. And if they're like in the recording booth and it was made specifically for marketing or something like that, then I know that there's different directors for that stuff at times, so it would be them at fault, but it doesn't matter. Point being that Madam Web just kind of looks like a web of mediocrity brought together.
S.J. Clarkson has done Toast and Mistress and is attached to an unnamed Game of Thrones prequel.
Interesting.
She's kind of newer, but yeah, I always go into these Sony movies because Venom was very surprising and very good, and so I always go into them being like, hey, listen, like, Sony can make good Spider-Man movies. Like, this is, like...
And honestly, I thought when it did show the clips of these spider people swinging around...
Oh, they look so cool, their suits.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was really digging
it. Sweetie, I'm like, you're so cool.
I was really digging it, if I'm being honest. And it kind of reminded me of, like, the Spider-Man 3 CGI.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I liked, because, like, if that movie had a better story, really, to go with it.
Sorry, Sam Raimi.
But either way...
Yeah.
It just reminded me of that, like, oh, maybe this could be a good movie, and it goes with that.
Yeah,
but...
you always go into hope it's good, and sometimes you get a Venom, and sometimes you get a Morbius. So who knows at this
point? Yeah, we'll see how this all... Do you think that, like, they're even gonna do anything with Morbi?
No.
Yeah, like, how bad?
Jared Leto's climbing the Empire State Building. He's busy. Did you get that?
Oh yeah, sorry, that took a second.
He's busy climbing.
He's busy.
Yeah.
Just climbing random things.
I just hope they have a plan. Kevin Feige, Kathleen Kennedy, everyone. Just have a plan.
And the Amy Pascal.
Amy Pascal.
But it seems like Amy has more of a plan.
She knows what she's doing.
She knows.
She got across the Spider-Verse and all that.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll see, because it seems like planned in some areas, and then like with the live action, we're kind of like
Yeah.
yeah, we're playing around with some things.
Yeah, and hopefully Marvel can get back on track. And I feel like they kind of built a failsafe with this Loki season finale. They're like,
Yeah.
this is our failsafe. Like, if we don't want to do it anymore, let's move on.
Yeah, you could easily move on.
Yeah.
I mean, you got this
I don't
whole.
think anyone would be mad.
Yeah. Do you think that the Sony MC Marvel stuff is gonna kind of like merge with the MCU? Because I mean, obviously they kind of did that with like Venom, but built up to nothing except like a stupid joke. So I don't know. Do you think it's gonna amount to a large scale event that like could be Secret Warsy?
That's what I'm thinking. I don't think King Dynasty is happening. I think that's kind of out. I still think you can do Secret Wars, and I do think if Kraven and Madam Web are good, bring them in. I even think, honestly, Kevin Feige knows what his fans want and all that. He put John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. He knows what they want. I think even if you put Morbius in it for like a quick cameo, people would go insane for Secret Wars. So yeah, I think you can connect them. Does Amy Pascal want to share her toys though?
I mean, I think it depends on the state of where they're at after the Kraven and
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the true game plan is going to be revealed in Venom 3.
For Sonyverse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on there? Because, I mean...
What are they doing?
Yeah. And they obviously teased some sort of nods, in Across the Spider-Verse and, the MCU, but I don't know. I feel like you don't just do that for nothing.
Yeah, you can, like... This is the thing, like, Marvel can get back into graces if there's certain steps you can do that, and I think, if Miles comes over, or if Venom, like, I think there's stuff you can do.
Right. So yeah.
Oh, Kevin.
Kevin,
listen to me. Just do Fantastic Four. You're good.
Well, we got Madam Web, we got an ever constantly changing MCU, and then we got a nice refreshing show, a refreshing piece of content in Loki Season 2. What do you get after all that? A very very confused fan base.
No, we've turned into the Star Wars fan base. No, we were so good, Kevin.
On that note, what do you guys think about this? Whether it be the MCU conversation or Madam Web, do you think that Madam Web is going to be, a good movie? Like, there's nothing really else to discuss with it because I really...
Am I right? How would you fix the MCU? Would you cancel everything and just make a Fantastic Four movie?
What do you think is going to be built up in the Sony Spider-Verse?
Yes.
Do you think that it's going to be with the Across the Spider-Verse movies? Or is it going to be culminating into one big event where Sony, Marvel, etc., all these companies get involved together that own the properties for Secret Wars? What is this all building to? We don't know. Marvel's not doing anything to really tell us or hint at anything. So we're just chilling here in constant ambiguity, hanging by a thread, or web in this case. So, with that, I've been Ethan.
I've been Annmarie.
She's been Annmarie, soon to be working for Kevin Feige, definitely.
I got you.
She's got him. And this has been Cassette Take. Thank you for listening, and we hope you didn't eject during your time. But if you did, please do not forget to rewind.
Bye.
Thank you, and have a wonderful...
Have a marvelous day.
A marvelous day. Whatever, if that's a good thing or bad thing, we'll leave that up to you. Bye.
Bye.